I better get this one out of the way first. The little Band-Aid on the head, just so we can crush all the stupid cosmetic surgery stuff right now. What's happened?
Well, it is cosmetic surgery.
Oh, right.
I got an extra eyebrow on there, so...
Oh, really?
I can be more expressive as an actor, you know?
I was actually going to ask if it's true you've had your buttocks tucked, but I guess there's...
No, not enough there to tuck, mate.
Now we're getting too much information already. We're just into the first moments. Is it good being... You've been back in Australia a little over a year now. Is it good being back?
On a permanent basis? Oh, yeah. I was never away, like... I didn't call a press conference every time I came back, and so I would be like in sometimes 4 or 5 times a year in Australia, in Byron Bay, and the rest of the time in the States. But the impression that I was gone for 10 years or something, which of course is not true.
Because it sort of seemed like that. I was going to ask you what you missed when you were away.
Well, as soon as I missed something, I came back.
Oh, OK. Fair enough.
That, yeah.
Hey, everyone I know that's ever lived in LA says it's a really strange town to live in. Is that how you found it?
Oh, it's weird because it's like a mining town where, so 10% of the people, the miners, actually work down the mine and the other 90% don't. And, but unlike a mining town, the miners don't leave town, they stay there and hang around. And then they talk to the ones that work down the mine, you know, what was it like today? Because that's, Hollywood is and LA is a town of unemployment, you know.
Yeah.
90% of people in show business are not working at any given time.
The first time I went to LA, I walked past a shop and I couldn't believe it. In the window was a full chemical bodysuit for sale, which doesn't make you feel very relaxed. I mean, did you have a gun, for instance, in LA?
Yeah, I did have a gun,
yeah.
Yeah? I had an attempted break-in at one stage when I was living in Beverly Hills. So.
Was it you attempting to break in with the gun or somebody...
I don't remember now. No, I wanted to go downstairs with like a baseball bat and someone down there with a gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to run second.
Where'd you keep it?
Oh, you know, handy.
I mean, it wasn't on your person.
No, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm sort of someone breaks into my house now.
Oh, you've still got one?
No, I have a cricket bat now. I'm home.
Oh, yeah. The Australian gun, beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider when you were in LA Scientology? No.
I'm not a religious man by nature, and the Scientology, no, that was too weird for me.
Yeah.
Space aliens and all that kind of thing, no.
Tom Cruise did never sort of say, look, Paul, this works, this is
Tom
good.
and I were never that close.
Really?
No. So I met him once or twice,
Yeah.
and I found he was a nice kid.
Yeah, nice kid.
Yeah.
You don't strike me as being, in that LA way, the sort of kissy-kissy, love-your-work sort of a guy, the guy that would be comfortable with that culture.
No. I didn't knock around with sort of movie stars and things. I sort of had more friends in the sort of executive side of it. Because, you know, I was a producer. And I was concerned with, you know, making the product and making money out of it and not the sort of artistic side of it.
You've described that process, though, as grovelling. And to a lot of people who have no idea what the business involves, can you give us some idea of what it is to pitch an idea in Hollywood? Oh,
you do have to grovel, yeah, because you're dealing with cretins mostly to start with. And I mean that. These are the people that run the industry. I'm not talking about actors or anyone you know publicly. I'm talking about the executives and the people that run studios and agencies and all that kind of thing. And most of them are stupid. And most of them are... They've sort of got no class and they're tacky sort of people. Yeah. And you either sort of come to grips with that or you don't get anything done. You know, you don't do business. So you're talking to people and you sort of want $60 million off them. You've got to overlook their shortcomings. That's a great idea. Yeah, you should have a purple hat, okay, you know. That'll get laughs, you know. And so you get these cretins who are in charge of the money suddenly think they're movie makers or entertainers.
And you become, in this business, you become very good at smiling at somebody who you think's a complete dickhead.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Well, most of the time, my best friend and partner, John Cornell, did that. And he was really good at it. He handled them, you know, he played them off a break, because sometimes it was too hard for me. A movie you didn't have to pitch was, in fact, the movie that made you an international superstar, which was Crocodile Dundee. You were basically the hottest thing in Hollywood for a while. What is it to be that hot? What's the experience like? It's like going to the Olympics and going and saying, can I have a run in the 100? You know, sort of like, it's all right, I'll go on my bare feet and jeans. And then you win the gold medal. From there on, it's all downhill. Because you can't top that. If your next movie is a bigger success, so what? It's your second one, you know. If you do that with the first one, full of first-time people and a little... It did what no other independent movie had ever done, not only from Australia, from anywhere else in the world. And so you've given yourself a bar like this. And were I an ambitious, hustling young actor, it would have been sort of terrible for me, and also being typecast and all that, but it wasn't, you know. I'd had my career on television and I had a go at movies and won a gold medal and thought, oh, this will do. And in my mind, I've been retired ever since then. It's sort of, I'm not interested in topping that. But everything that happened from then on was a bonus, because it was never a burning ambition. You
say you're unambitious.
That's right.
And you refer to yourself as a lazy bugger.
That's right.
Is that true?
Dead set.
In what way?
I think I had a big advantage on most people in this business, that I never wanted to be in it, and I wasn't for the first, 32 years of my life. I had proper jobs and no money. And
that's a proper job.
And when exactly. And when you have a proper job, which means getting up real early in the morning and all that sort of thing, and sometimes 2 jobs, when you do that, you keep wishing, oh, I wish I had a few bucks more and I wouldn't have to do this, I wouldn't. And then people, it's like people win the lottery and they say, oh, I'm still going to keep my job and nothing will change, I live in the old house. I always think, take the money back off him. You know, sort of, if you win the lottery, sort of enjoy it.
Yeah?
Yeah, get up when you wake up and sort of enjoy your life and think, oh, gee, maybe I'll go to work in July. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to work in end of July.
But what do you actually do when you're not working?
Oh, this is a skill that's... It's one of those secret things that, you know, when you get to that stage, and then you'll understand, and you don't tell other people the key to... Oh,
tell me, Master, tell Grasshopper. I don't... Come on.
I'm not your guru, I'm not Rene Rivkin.
You know, I trust you.
By the way, Rene Rivkin, he never lies, but he said he was Kerry Packer's surrogate father.
Yeah. Or Jamie's surrogate father.
Jamie's surrogate father. Well, if Kerry heard that, I hope he thumps him.
Rene or Jamie?
Kerry's a good, caring, loving father.
Yeah?
Whatever else he might be, that's true.
Okay.
So he annoyed me, then I thought, kick his ass, Kerry.
Because you would have seen James when he was growing up. You would have seen that relationship.
I've known him since he was like 13. Yeah.
And that's what you saw of Kerry?
That's what I saw. That's when I didn't like Kerry much. I respected him, and I didn't have to work for him. I was always been an independent producer, but I could always sort of say, no, screw you. And I had a handshake deal with Channel 9, never signed a contract, and he never dudded me an inch in 12 years. And so I respected him, but I didn't like him much until I saw him with his kids at the cricket. And suddenly I liked him.
How was he with his kids?
A dad.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just a dad. It wasn't Kerry Packer anymore.
You know, we'll never get Kerry on the show, so bit by talking to other people about him, we'll assemble an interview with him. It's our plan.
See, I don't know him anything. He doesn't know me anything. I don't work for him, sort of. So you know, you'll get the sort of a truly independent, not someone who's relying on him for their income or something thing. Yeah.
Oh, so our interview with Eddie Maguire is going to be a waste of time, is it?
No, well, you don't talk to someone who works for... I wouldn't work for Kerry. He's terrifying. You know?
Yeah?
But I don't work for him, and, you know, he's a good bloke.
Speaking of being a dad, you had 3 kids by the time you were 21.
Yeah,
I mean,
22.
22, sorry. Did you have any idea what you were doing as a father?
No, I sort of had them young and grew up with them. Yeah. I just liked them. I still do. I love kids. I'd keep them till they're about 7, then try and give them away. Especially when they get to about 15, they get pimples and they get bigger than you and everything. But I just love little kids. The innocence and the openness of them. I just keep having them.
Yeah. Well, you do. You've got another young one now.
I've got a 4-year-old.
Yeah, and
he's 4 already, and it's a bummer. I mean, the most adorable human in the world is like a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah.
And they're just so innocent.
And they think you know, don't they? They think you know what's happening in the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I like little kids around. They think I'm really smart and I know everything.
Yeah.
I'm really good on the PlayStation, you know. Stuff like that.
Because you're very fortunate. Not many dads get to, you know, be a father over a 40-year period.
A second go. No, it's sort of like the second. I mean, I loved it anyway, even when I was 18. I mean, I didn't realise when I suddenly thought, oh, I got these little kids. But when you get older, and you're like I am, you don't have to work or stuff. You can spend all day with them.
Yeah.
You know, and then you think, oh, gee, well, I missed out on so much when the others were little because you know, I had to go to work.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
and I was also sort of trying to claw my own way into the world, and sort of now I'm not. So he gets my undivided attention.
What sort of things do you play with Chance?
PlayStation's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
What checkers we played today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And but the only thing is that they've got to win all the time.
Now, that's a tricky point, isn't it? Because at some point it's your fatherly responsibility to teach him how to lose.
I have to do that with the others. It's sort of like, somewhere along the line you've got to beat them so that they know, yeah, we'll occasionally get beat.
Yeah. So when's the moment, do you reckon?
Oh, when he's 22 or 23 or something. No rush.
You sure you'll be able to beat him at that stage? You're pretty smart.
Geez, I'll be well into the third quarter of my life by then.
You said before you're unambitious, but I'm curious because I quite read of yours. It was really interesting. You said, my dad dropped dead while he was still waiting for his world discovery tour, and I wasn't going to wait for that to happen. So obviously when you were younger, you had a drive. Would that be right?
Well, I wasn't that young. It's sort of, I was in my 20s, and when he died, and it sort of sank in, I thought, oh, geez, he's worked all his life. And he was planning, you know, the 6 months long service leave and the trip around the world and all that, and he fell down dead. That sort of made me more realise that sort of like, just take each day as it comes.
You worked hard though. I mean, the Paul Hogan show, that had a big run on Australian television by any standards. Yeah. For some of our audience wouldn't remember it. They'd be pretty young. We've got a clip here. This is from the Paul Hogan show, just the biggest rating thing on Channel 9 during the 70s.
For a report on that injury, it's down to the Australian bunkers with Keith Stackpole.
Thank you, Richie. Dennis, how's the finger?
Not too bad, really, Keith. Just a minor scratch, really.
Also, I hear you having a few leg problems.
Yes, Keith. Probably after lunch, I'll be coming in off the short run.
That's historic. That's an interesting piece of history because that was just part of World Series war. And the people we were playing, when it was Iran, the Ayatollah Khomeini.
Oh, really?
They had all these Ayatollahs running around playing cricket against us. So Iraq was sort of on our side then.
Oh, how times change.
Yes, they do.
When I watched back some of the Hogue stuff, it really struck me. You're a really smart guy. John Cornell's a really smart guy.
Yep.
And here you were two really smart guys, often playing at being idiots. Did it surprise you what you could get away with, what you did get away with?
No, I thought it was funny, particularly, I mean, I wasn't that smart, and I didn't play that smart a guy. Hogue was never that smart, just cunning. It was funny that John Cornell, who was one of the smartest people you'd ever meet, and a brilliant businessman, he played an idiot. I mean, Strop was a straight-out idiot. Sort of like, we know how he got that way with a name like Strop. You know.
Did that help him be actually better at being a manager? Because he'd walk into a boardroom and people would think, oh, yeah, I know this guy is not that smart.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. And he came out with sort of no clothes and no what's no one. He was just a fool. No, he was just amazing.
Yeah. Does he know that you know this? Have you repaid the debt sufficiently for you?
Oh, there's no debt. We're sort of, you get one friend in a lifetime like Cornell.
Yeah.
And, you know, he knows that and I know that, and we sort of always will be best of friends.
That's good. That's good. After all you've been through, often it doesn't end up like that. You've described yourself as a cold person, though. In what way are you cold?
Oh, unemotional, probably.
Really?
Yeah. That's sort of good in a way.
How's that?
Well, I don't ever go to one extreme or the other. I used to have a terrible temper when I was younger, and that sort of grew out of that and turned into a more mellow person.
Where are your passions, though? I mean, everyone has passions. Where do you put your passions?
I think that's good. I don't have passion, I don't think. Yeah.
That's a bit
It's
sad,
not
isn't
a
it?
cult. I mean, I love my wife, and I love my kids, and I love my work. But I've never been described as a passionate sort of person. I think of sort of Antonio Banderas. When I think of passion, you know, like fiery. No, I'm mellow, probably.
You've made yourself that way, or you think that's how you were built?
I think that the comfort of my life's made me like that. I was a bit aggro when I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was 30 and was still virtually a labourer with all sorts of tickets and rigger and scaffolder and dogman and crane chase and whatever. It was still basically hadn't found a career. I stumbled into this wonderful life that I'm having, and without ever trying to. So I do wake up every day and think, oh, cool. You know, you said to me, like I did. I'm sitting in the movies I had Princess Di here, and Charles there, and my wife was the other side, and she was sitting there with her knees up in the seat. Charlie was sitting there digging in the elbows. I'm sort of going, and they know I'm Hogan. I used to work on Harbour Bridge. It's sort of, I still get blown away, you know, with sometimes big-time stars and what have you. I was in the Beverly Hills Hotel, and there was this guy who was hanging about with a script, and he apparently wanted to approach me and couldn't work himself up to it. Anyway, I was out in the car park, just getting in my car, and he worked up his courage and came up to me and said, you know, excuse me, Paul, I'm, you know, a bit nervous about all this. I swear by the pool, and I was going to come up and talk to you, but I was, you know, too nervous. And he said, oh, you know, I've got this script, and I'd like you to have a look at it. And, you know, he gives me the script. You know who it was? It was George Harrison, the Beatle.
Really?
Yeah, and he was nervous. He was a nice guy and everything. And we had a drink after and everything. He's saying, oh, you know, I was too nervous to come up here. And so I still got my car, and I thought, that was one of the Beatles, and he was too nervous to talk to me.
That's fantastic.
Oh.
That's amazing.
No, it was the sort of...
What was the script? What was the script?
Oh, it was an IRA thing. It never ever got made. But he made a lot of films.
Yeah,
he had
did.
his own company then, handmade films. But that one, it wasn't right for me anyway. It was a bit too heavy, and it didn't get made. But
I'm just trying to imagine Hogan in an IRA film, but I'll get my head around it.
It was for me and Michael Caine.
Really?
Yeah. And the guy
Two well-known Irishmen.
Yeah. No, I was the Irishman. He was the Englishman. Well, Irish accent's not... I could handle it anyway. But
You said you're not an especially passionate man. When you first got together with Linda, when were you aware, that fabulous moment where you think, this is happening?
Oh, I resisted that for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I thought I was not a passionate man. Doesn't mean I'm cold-blooded, but I'm not volatile. I don't sort of get off on... I'm slow to make decisions and things. And sort of, I resisted that because of the on-set romance thing that happens all the time, and sort of these people meet on a set and they get carried away that they think their own character. It's like what they call shipboard romance. So that took a couple of years.
That shows tremendous self-control, because really if you're falling for somebody and you're also acting that you're in love with them, it's a free ticket to flirt and nobody will think anything of it.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, you just see too often that people get carried away in those situations, those 6 months romances in Hollywood, you know. Sort of.
It's been more than 6 months.
Oh, yeah,
it's been a lot more than 6 months.
Yes.
It's been a really successful marriage. What has Linda, the professional, had to give up or put away to be married to Paul Hogan?
A little typecast and a little bit, yeah, as much as I sort of became Crocodile Dundee, even in another movie, I was a Crocodile Dundee guy, she got stuck with that a little. Yeah? Because she's a far better actress than I am an actor.
She was classically trained
I know,
actress.
totally. I mean, she was like honor student out of Juilliard. I mean, we got her off Broadway. She was in Death of a Salesman with Justin Hoffman. And that's sort of, it probably sort of screwed up her acting career. But I mean, that's... Does
she resent that at all?
No, well, she loved acting, but sort of, it's acting. Yeah. It's pretending you're someone else. You know, that's, as I say, I've got some great friends in Hollywood and actors and what have you, but most of the general rule I don't get on with them because it's a rather childish pursuit. It's not a great career for a grown man. I pretend I'm someone, and I'm, you know, and I'm really good at pretending and sort of... So I have trouble with people that take themselves too seriously. When I don't sort of get on with people who polish their craft and go to the edge of the envelope and take it a bit too seriously. I say, come on, we're in the entertainment business. We're entertainers. 300 years ago, we were doing somersaults with little hats and bells on our head. That was good.
Linda copped an absolute bucketing from the press in this country when you got together. She was the bimbo, yours was the midlife crisis, she was the other woman, all that stuff. Does she feel comfortable about being back in a country which was so hostile to her?
No. No, it's taken a long while to get her into it because she was unjustly crucified or blamed or whatever. There's no other woman. It's just sort of like, you know, that life is what it is and it's your personal life's nobody's business. But attack me because I'm the unfaithful one. So I'm the adulterer, or I'm the sort of philanderer, or whatever other terms you have for it. She's like the innocent bystander. And it's so stupid of anybody to sort of pass judgment on other people's relationships. It's sort of like, well, I better not get a divorce because they'll have a bad thing about me in TV Week. So I'll stay unhappily married. I mean, that's just hard for her because the great thing about us when we're mostly living over there and in Byron Bay was that nobody cared.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got Madonna and they've got, you know, all sorts of Michael Jackson, all sorts of weird people to fry over there. They didn't give a shit about us. We were just sort of quiet people living up in Santa Barbara. And it's sort of, when we come back here, it's sort of like, oh no, he's got a photograph taken at the airport, and it's sort of like someone hanging over the back fence taking a shot, trying to get you sort of like, you know, bending over or sort of doing something ungraceful. So it's a bit hard for it to come to grips.
Is it cool now? I mean, is it backed off, or are you still that object of sort of malign curiosity?
Oh, no, it's probably backed off. It's sort of like, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
On her behalf I do, but I really don't give a shit.
Movies, Lightning Jack, Almost an Angel, you know them better than I, some absolute bell-ringingly horrible reviews. Now, you said when you were young, you were an angry guy, you're a fighter. Were you able to deal with the anger about that then, or was it just acid off a duck's back?
Oh, I didn't get the anger. It's sort of like the movies weren't that good, you know.
Yeah?
It's sort of like, oh, that didn't quite work out like I thought. I thought Almost an Angel was a lovely idea. It was a non-mean-spirited comedy and it was sort of nice. And it didn't sort of work, though. You know, sort of, you know that before they go to air. You think,
Really?
oh, this is not going to sort of set the world on fire. But I didn't care. It was sort of mine. It was sort of like I sort of sat up in the middle of the night and wrote it and then produced it and saw it come to life. And Lightning Jack, that was a moderate success. It was only castigated here because it wasn't a great investment.
Yeah.
But it was more successful in the US than some of the Aussie movies like Priscilla and Ballroom and that I sort of read out here take US by storm.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's funny because my failure did a lot more business than any of them. I also had the miserable failure here of Crocodile Dundee too, which did 260 million US at the box office. I thought, oh, please give me another miserable failure like that one. You know?
You can tell
So that's sort of, you know, water off the duck's back.
How does the industry regard Paul Hogan now?
Oh, an Australian guy.
Yeah.
So any script that's got the word Australian in it, even if it's a nun, you know.
Can you tell us what's happening in July? Is it the Flying Nun movie? What have we got?
No. This is it's a wonderful little Aussie movie.
Yeah?
And it's the best script I've had. I won't say it's the best script I've ever read because I wrote a lot myself, you know. It's a 7 movie. It's the best script I've ever had sent to me. It's charming and funny and I'm sort of really looking forward to it. And it is a real Australian movie, but I think one that will travel. And it's me and Michael Caton. And I think that's sort of lovely casting too.
What's your role?
We're just two. I'm a divorcee. He's a bachelor, and we're two. No, he's a widow, I should say. And we're two straight guys in a small country town who have to pretend we're gay. And that's the bones of it. And it just goes from disaster to disaster.
Which one of those ends of the emotional spectrum are you going to have to prepare yourself for? Which comes naturally?
I've started the preparation already.
Yeah, good.
And I'll show you this. This is an old joke that you might be familiar with. This is how you tell a straight guy from a gay guy. I stand up for the first bit. Is that all right?
Yep.
You say to a straight guy, "Hey, you got something on the bottom of your shoe?" He goes. You say to a gay guy, "There's something on your bottom of your shoe," he goes. And that's one. And the second one is you say, "You got something under your fingernails," and the straight guy goes, "Hmm?" And the gay guy goes.
I shall remember that.
And the third one, you need a close-up for this. You say to a straight guy, "Look up," and he goes, "Huh?" You say to a gay guy, "Look up," and he goes. They're the three tests. So I've been doing the research.
You learn.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Can I say, look, and I don't take this personally, I have found this a really disappointing interview, and you very disappointing. You've got no neuroses, no hang-ups, no unhappiness, no dark spots. I mean, really, if I'd known, I'd never have asked you on this show.
I'm sorry. Well, will I thump you before I leave or something?
Paul, I'm very impressed. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Andrew. I think I've been a fan of yours for a long time.
Thank you.